My best friend said, "Give me 10K, or I'll tell your wife your secret." He stood in my doorway with a half smile that didn't reach his eyes. "We need to talk." I stepped back to let him in. Brett had been my closest friend since college. The guy who'd stood beside me at my wedding 3 years ago. The one I'd called when my dad died last winter. He walked past me into the living room and didn't sit down. "Claire home?" he asked. My wife was upstairs getting ready for work. "She's leaving in 10 minutes. What's going on?" He turned to face me, hands in his pockets, and the smile changed into something else. "I need $10,000. I laughed because I thought he was joking. "What? 10 grand cash by Friday?" The laugh died in my throat. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious." He pulled his phone from his pocket and held it loosely at his side. "Or I tell Claire what happened the night before your wedding." The floor tilted under me. My mouth went dry. "What are you talking about?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about." His voice stayed calm, almost friendly. "The hotel bar. The girl with the dark hair. You coming back to the suite at 4 in the morning looking like you'd just made the worst mistake of your life." I couldn't move, couldn't think. "Brett, I never said anything because you're my boy. I figured everyone gets cold feet. Everyone does something stupid once. But then you married her anyway, and you never told her. And now here we are." My hand started shaking. "Why are you doing this?" "Because I need the money." He shrugged like we were discussing a loan. "And because you owe me for keeping my mouth shut this long? I don't have $10,000 just sitting around. Then figure it out. Sell something. Take out a loan. I don't care." He glanced toward the stairs. "But if I don't have it by Friday, I'm telling Claire everything." "You wouldn't." "Try me." He stepped closer, and I saw something ugly in his face. Something I'd never noticed before. "You think she'll forgive you? You think she'll understand? She's going to leave you, man. She's going to take everything and walk out that door, and you'll deserve it." I heard Claire's footsteps upstairs, the sound of her heels on hardwood. Brett heard them too. He smiled again. "Think about it," he said quietly. "You've got 4 days. This is insane. You're supposed to be my friend." "I am your friend. That's why I'm giving you a choice." He moved toward the door. "Pay me or she finds out. Either way, I get what I need." Claire appeared at the top of the stairs, purse in hand. "Oh, hey, Brett. Didn't know you were here." He looked up at her with that same easy smile he'd always had, the one that made everyone like him. "Just stopped by to see if your husband wanted to grab lunch this week, but he's busy, so I'll catch him later." She came down the stairs. "Everything okay?" "Everything's great." He opened the door and glanced back at me. "Think about what I said. Let me know." Then he was gone, and Claire was kissing me on the cheek, saying something about a meeting she couldn't be late for, and I stood frozen in the middle of my living room while my entire life cracked open beneath me. She left 2 minutes later. I sat down on the couch and put my head in my hands. I stood in the empty living room for 20 minutes after Claire left. The house felt different now, like someone had moved all the furniture an inch to the left while I wasn't looking. My phone buzzed. A text from Brett. "Clock's ticking." I deleted it and shoved the phone in my pocket. My hands were still shaking. I went to the kitchen and poured coffee I didn't drink, then stood at the sink staring at nothing until the mug went cold in my hand. Work was impossible. I sat through a morning meeting without hearing a single word, nodding when people looked at me, pretending to take notes while I wrote the same number over and over on my notepad. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I didn't have it. Our savings account had maybe 4 grand after we'd replaced the furnace last month. My credit cards were nearly maxed from the hospital bills after Claire's appendectomy. I could maybe scrape together 7 if I sold my truck, but that would take weeks. And Brett wanted cash by Friday. 4 days. My boss asked me a question during lunch, and I had no idea what he'd said. I mumbled something about checking the files and left early, claiming a migraine that wasn't entirely a lie. I drove home on autopilot and found Claire's car already in the driveway. She never came home early. My chest tightened as I walked through the door. She was sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open, still in her work clothes. "Hey, you okay? You left this morning without saying goodbye." "Just running late." I set my keys down carefully like they might shatter. "Why are you home?" "Finished my presentation early, so I bailed." She smiled. "Thought we could actually have dinner together for once." The guilt hit me like a fist. She looked so happy, so normal, and I wanted to tell her everything right then just to stop carrying it alone. But the words stuck in my throat. "That sounds great," I said. We made pasta together, and she talked about her day while I chopped vegetables and tried to act like a person who wasn't being blackmailed by his best friend. She mentioned Brett in passing. Something about how we should have him and his girlfriend over for dinner soon, and I nearly dropped the knife. "Actually, I don't think that's a good idea." She looked up from the stove. "Why not?" We're not really hanging out much anymore." "Since when? You two have been inseparable since college." She stirred the sauce. "Did something happen?" "No, just growing apart, I guess." She didn't push it, but I saw the confusion in her face. We ate dinner and watched half a movie, and the whole time I felt like I was play-acting my own life, reading lines from a script I'd never seen before. That night in bed, Claire curled against me and fell asleep within minutes. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathe, thinking about the girl from the hotel bar, whose name I'd never learned. Dark hair, green dress, a laugh that sounded like breaking glass. We'd talked for an hour about nothing important, and then we were in her room, and I was making the worst decision of my life while my fiancé slept peacefully 20 miles away. I'd told myself it didn't mean anything. Cold feet, last hurrah, a mistake I'd never repeat. But it did mean something. It meant I was a liar. It meant I'd stood in front of everyone I loved the next morning and promised forever to someone I'd already betrayed. Brett had been there that night. He'd He'd seen me leave with her, seen me come back at dawn looking wrecked. He'd asked if I was okay, and I'd told him I just needed to clear my head. He'd nodded and never mentioned it again. Until yesterday, my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Another text from Brett. 3 days. I turned it off. The next morning, Claire left for work early, and I called in sick. I spent 2 hours on the couch running numbers that didn't add up, looking at loan applications I couldn't qualify for, considering options that didn't exist. I could ask my mom for money, but she'd want to know why. I could sell everything I owned and maybe get halfway there. I could rob a bank, which made about as much sense as anything else. Or I could tell Claire myself. The thought made me want to vomit, but it kept circling back. If I paid Brett, he'd own me forever. He'd come back in 6 months asking for more, then a year later, then whenever he needed something, because that's how blackmail works. The lie would never end. But if I told her first, he'd have nothing. Except, I'd have nothing too. Claire would leave. She'd pack her things and walk out, and I'd be alone in this house with exactly what I deserved. I picked up my phone and stared at her name in my contacts. My thumb hovered over the call button for 5 full minutes before I put it down again. Not yet. I needed to think. Brett texted again that afternoon. Have you figured it out yet? Or should I just call Claire now and save us both some time? I typed back without thinking. Don't you dare! 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Then get me my money. I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and didn't break, which felt like the universe mocking me. Claire came home that night with takeout and found me sitting in the dark. She turned on the light and frowned. You're scaring me. What's going on? Nothing, just a bad day. You've been weird for 2 days now. She set the food on the counter and crossed her arms. Talk to me. I looked at her standing there in her work blazer with concern all over her face, and I almost said it. Almost told her everything. But instead, I said I was stressed about a project at work, and she believed me because she had no reason not to. We ate dinner in near silence. She kept glancing at me like I was a stranger, and maybe I was. Maybe I'd been a stranger since the day I married her. That night, my phone buzzed again. 2 days left. Don't make me do this. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, I woke up to a photo. Brett had sent it at 6 a.m., probably knowing I'd check my phone before Claire did. It was a screenshot of text messages from 5 years ago, the night before my wedding. My own words stared back at me in blue bubbles. I fucked up, man. I fucked up so bad. She can never know. You have to promise me you won't tell anyone. And his responses, sympathetic back then, almost brotherly. It's okay. We all make mistakes. I won't say anything. I promise. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's your big day. Below the screenshot he'd typed, still have all of them. Every confession, every detail. Want me to send the rest to Claire, or are we going to handle this like adults? I deleted it before Claire could see, but my hands were shaking so hard, I dropped the phone twice. She was already up, getting ready for work. I heard the shower running and sat on the edge of the bed trying to remember how to breathe normally. When she came out wrapped in a towel, she looked at me and stopped. You look awful. Are you sick? Didn't sleep well? You haven't slept well in 3 days. She pulled clothes from the dresser. I'm calling Dr. Morrison. You need to talk to someone. I'm fine. You're not fine. You barely eat. You won't talk to me, and you look like you're about to have a heart attack. She sat down next to me. Please, what's going on? I wanted to tell her so badly it felt like drowning. But instead, I said work was overwhelming, and I'd make an appointment, and she kissed my forehead like I was a child who needed comfort. After she left, I sat in the empty house and stared at my phone. Brett texted again. 2 days, that's 48 hours, then I start making calls. I tried to think rationally. If I went to the police, what would I even say? My friend was blackmailing me over something I actually did. They'd ask what he was blackmailing me for, and I'd have to explain. And then Claire would find out anyway through police reports and court documents. If I confronted him in person, he could record it, twist my words, make it look like I was threatening him. If I ignored him, he'd tell Claire, and I'd lose everything without even trying to fight. Every option led to the same place. My phone rang. Brett's name lit up the screen. I answered without thinking. What? Good morning to you too. His voice was cheerful, almost friendly. Just checking in, making sure we're on the same page. I don't have the money. Then get it. I can't. I've tried. There's no way. That's not my problem. He paused. You know, I've been thinking about this a lot. About how you've had this perfect life for 5 years while I've been stuck in the same dead-end job, the same shitty apartment. You got Claire. You got the house. You got everything. So this is about jealousy? It's about fairness. His tone hardened. You don't get to have it all when you don't deserve it. You built your entire marriage on a lie, and I'm the only one who knows the truth. That's worth something. We were friends. We were. And you used me as your priest, dumped all your guilt on me, made me carry your secret for 5 years. Now I'm cashing in. You said you wouldn't tell anyone. I lied, he laughed. Guess we're both liars. I hung up. My chest felt tight like someone had wrapped steel bands around my ribs. I went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face, but it didn't help. My reflection looked hollow like someone had scooped out everything important and left just the shell. I drove to the bank and asked about a personal loan. The woman behind the desk looked at my credit score and shook her head apologetically. Too much debt, too little collateral. She suggested a payment plan I couldn't afford and wished me luck. I sat in the parking lot afterward and did the math again. $4,000 in savings. Maybe another $2 if I sold my laptop and camera equipment. My truck was worth $8,000, but I needed it for work, and selling it would take weeks I didn't have. $6,000 total. I was $4,000 short. Brett texted me a countdown at noon. 36 hours. Then again at 3. 30 hours. Then at 6. 24 hours. This time tomorrow I'm calling her. Claire noticed the texts at dinner. Your phone keeps going off. Is everything okay? Just work stuff. On a Thursday night? Big project. Lots of moving parts. She set down her fork. You're lying to me. My heart stopped. What? You've been lying to me all week, I can tell. Her eyes were steady, searching my face. I know you. Something's wrong and you won't tell me what it is. It's nothing. Don't do that. Don't shut me out. She reached across the table. Whatever it is, we can handle it together. That's what marriage is. I looked at her hand covering mine and felt something crack inside my chest. She believed in us so completely, trusted me so thoroughly, and I was about to destroy all of it. I need to tell you something, I said. She went very still. Okay. I opened my mouth, and nothing came out. The words were right there, lined up and ready, but my throat closed around them. I'm being blackmailed. Her face changed. What? Brett, he wants $10,000, and if I don't give it to him by tomorrow night, he's going to tell you something. Tell me what? This was it. The moment everything ended. I could feel it approaching like a train in the distance, and there was no way to stop it. Something I did before we got married. She pulled her hand back slowly. What did you do? I can't. You just said you're being blackmailed. What does he know? I can't tell you. Then how do you expect me to help you? Her voice rose. You come to me saying someone's threatening you, but you won't tell me why. That doesn't make any sense. Because telling you is worse than paying him. She stood up. I'm going to bed. When you're ready to be honest with me, let me know. She left me sitting at the table with cold pasta and a phone that wouldn't stop buzzing. Brett sent another message. 23 hours. Better get creative. I texted back. What do you want from me? I don't have it. Then I guess Claire's going to find out what kind of man she married. You're destroying my life over money you don't even need. This was never about the money. This is about you finally facing what you did. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. He was right. I'd spent 5 years pretending it never happened, building a life on top of a lie, and now the foundation was crumbling. I could hear Claire moving around upstairs, getting ready for bed. In a few hours, she'd be asleep and tomorrow would start, and the clock would keep ticking down until Brett made his call, unless I made it first. I picked up my phone and typed out a message to Claire. I need to talk to you. It's important. Then I deleted it. I tried again. The night before our wedding, I made a mistake. Deleted. I cheated on you. My finger hovered over send for 30 seconds before I deleted that too. I couldn't do it over text. If I was going to ruin everything, I had to do it face to face. I went upstairs. Claire was already in bed with her back to me, pretending to be asleep. I stood in the doorway, watching her breathe, and tried to imagine what tomorrow would look like. An empty bed, an empty house. Everything we'd built together reduced to lawyers and paperwork and dividing up furniture. My phone buzzed one more time. 22 hours. Sweet dreams. I turned it off and lay down next to my wife, knowing it might be the last time. I woke up before the alarm and knew I couldn't do it over breakfast. Couldn't sit across from Claire with coffee and toast and tell her I'd destroyed our marriage before it started. So I texted Brett instead. Meet me. We need to talk in person. He responded in under a minute. Vinny's Diner. 1 hour. Come alone. Claire was still asleep when I left. I wrote a note saying I had an early meeting and stuck it on the fridge, another lie and a long chain of them. The diner was nearly empty at 7 in the morning. Brett sat in a back booth wearing sunglasses indoors like he was in a movie. He waved when he saw me, friendly and casual, like we were meeting up to catch a game. There he is. He stood and clapped me on the shoulder. Good to see you, buddy. I pulled away. Don't! Sit down. I ordered you coffee. He slid a cup across the table. Black, right? Still take it black? I sat because standing felt worse. I need more time. We've been through this. He took off the sunglasses and folded them carefully. Time's up tomorrow night. That's the deal. Then change the deal. Give me a month. I'll get it. A month? He laughed. What happens in a month that doesn't happen now? You win the lottery? I can sell things. My truck, equipment. I just need time to find buyers. Your truck's worth maybe $8,000 if you're lucky, and you still owe on it. He leaned back. I did my homework. You're broke, maxed out, living paycheck to paycheck in that nice house with your pretty wife. So you know I can't pay you. I know you're not trying hard enough. He pulled out his phone and turned it toward me. Look. The screen showed a text message draft. To Claire. The first line read, "There's something your husband never told you about the night before your wedding." My stomach dropped. Don't. I've got the whole thing written. Names, dates, details. Everything you told me that night when you were drunk and crying and begging me to help you feel less guilty. His thumb hovered over the send button. One tap. That's all it takes. You're insane. I'm practical. He set the phone down between us. You've got something I want. I've got something you can't afford to lose. That's called leverage. This isn't about money. You said it yourself yesterday. You're right. It's about fairness. He leaned forward. You know what I did the night of your bachelor party? After you left with that girl? I cleaned up. I made excuses to everyone asking where you went. I covered for you. And then the next day I stood up at your wedding and gave a toast about what a great guy you are. I didn't ask you to do that. You didn't have to. That's what friends do. His voice turned sharp. But you didn't stay my friend, did you? You got married and moved into your new life and forgot I existed. How many times have you called me in the last year? 3? 4? You moved to Portland, 90 minutes away. You act like I'm on another planet. He picked up his coffee. Meanwhile, you're posting pictures of vacations and date nights and your perfect little existence. You ever think about how that feels? Watching you get everything while I'm stuck in the same place? So this is jealousy. It's consequences. He set the cup down hard enough that coffee sloshed over the rim. You don't get to cheat on your wife the night before your wedding and then live happily ever after. That's not how it works. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry? I am. I've been sorry every day for 5 years. Then tell her. The words hit like a fist. What? Tell Claire. Right now. Call her and tell her what you did. He pushed his phone across the table. Do that, and I'll walk away. No money, no threats, just you finally being honest. I stared at the phone. You said you wanted $10,000. I changed my mind. This is better. He smiled. Because if you tell her, you lose everything anyway. And if you don't, I will. Either way, your perfect life ends today. You're sick. I'm giving you a choice. That's more than you gave her. He stood up. You've got until tomorrow night. Tell her yourself, or I do it for you. And trust me, my version's a lot worse. He left cash on the table for the coffee and walked out. I sat there for 20 minutes trying to figure out what just happened. He didn't want money anymore. He wanted to watch me burn. The whole blackmail scheme was just a game to him, a way to force me into the corner I'd been hiding in for 5 years. My phone rang. Claire. I almost didn't answer. Hey, where are you? Your note said early meeting, but it's barely 8. I'm at Vinny's grabbing breakfast. Alone. The question felt like a trap. Yeah, why? Because you're lying to me again. Her voice was calm, which made it worse. You left at 6:30 to meet someone. Who was it? Just a work thing. Stop. She took a breath. I can't do this anymore. The secrets, the excuses, the way you look at me like you're terrified I'm going to figure something out. Whatever's going on, I need you to tell me. Today. I will. When? Tonight, I promise. I just need to figure some things out first. Figure what out? You're being blackmailed and you won't tell me why. How am I supposed to help you if you won't let me in? You can't help with this. Then what's the point? Her voice cracked. What's the point of being married if we can't trust each other? I trust you, but you don't. Because if you did, you'd tell me what you did that's worth $10,000 to keep secret. She paused. I've been thinking about it all night. What could be that bad? An affair? Illegal? Something you're ashamed of? Claire, just tell me it's not another woman. Tell me that much. I couldn't. The silence stretched too long. I'll be at my sister's tonight. She hung up. I drove home through morning traffic with my hands shaking on the wheel. Every red light felt like it lasted an hour. By the time I pulled into the driveway, Brett had sent 4 more messages. Tick-tock. How'd the wife take it? Still got 30 hours. Better use them wisely. Or don't. Either way, this ends tomorrow. I went inside and the house felt wrong. Too quiet. Too empty. Claire had taken her work bag and her laptop, which meant she was serious about staying at her sister's. I checked the bedroom and half her clothes were gone from the closet. She wasn't coming back tonight. I sat on the couch and tried to think clearly. Brett didn't want money anymore. He wanted confession. Wanted me to destroy my own life so he could watch. And Claire was one conversation away from leaving for good. The math was simple. Tell her, lose her. Don't tell her, Brett does it anyway. Lose her either way, unless I could make Brett back down. I called him. He answered on the first ring. Change your mind? What do you really want? Be honest. I told you I want you to face what you did. And then what? You get to feel superior? You get revenge for me not calling you enough? I get to stop carrying your guilt. His voice dropped. You dumped it on me 5 years ago and walked away. Every time I see you posting about your anniversary or your date nights, I remember that you're a fraud, and I'm the only one who knows. So make me pay and move on. I tried. You don't have the money. He laughed. This is better. This way you have to choose. Lie to her forever and wonder when I'll change my mind, or tell her the truth and lose her now. Either way, you don't get to keep pretending. I'll go to the police. And say what? That I'm blackmailing you? They'll ask what for and you'll have to explain. Claire finds out anyway. Plus, I'll make sure everyone knows. Your family, her family, your boss, everyone. You're destroying both of us. I'm fine. You're the one with everything to lose. He paused. 28 hours. I'll be waiting. He hung up. I threw the phone across the room and it hit the wall hard enough to crack the screen. Then I sat there in the empty house and realized he was right. There was no way out. No angle I hadn't considered. No move that didn't end with Claire knowing the truth. The only question left was whether I told her myself or let Brett do it. And whether she'd even listen after I'd spent a week lying to her face. I spent the rest of the morning staring at my phone. Every notification made my chest seize up. Spam emails, a calendar reminder, a text from my mom asking if we were still coming to dinner next week. Nothing from Brett, which somehow felt worse than his taunts. Claire's sister posted a photo on social media around noon. Claire in the background blurry holding a coffee mug. The caption said something about impromptu sister time. She looked tired. I texted her. Can we talk? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then nothing. I tried again an hour later. I know you're angry. I just need you to know I'm going to fix this. Still nothing. By 2 in the afternoon, I'd worn a path in the carpet between the couch and the kitchen. I kept picking up my phone and setting it down. Kept opening Brett's messages and closing them. The last one still said, or don't. Either way, this ends tomorrow. 24 hours left. I called my brother. He answered on the 4th ring, voice muffled like he had food in his mouth. What's up? You busy? Lunch break. What do you need? I almost told him. Almost said the whole thing out loud just to hear how it sounded. But he'd known Claire since we started dating. He'd helped me pick out the ring. He'd tell me to come clean. And I wasn't ready to hear it. Nothing. Just checking in. You sound weird. Long week. Yeah? He swallowed. How's Claire? Good. She's good. You sure? Because Mom said she seemed stressed at Easter. We're fine. Okay. He didn't sound convinced. Listen, if something's going on, you can tell me. I'm not gonna judge. I know, thanks. I hung up before he could push harder. The house felt like it was shrinking. Every room reminded me of Claire. Her jacket on the hook by the door. Her books stacked on the coffee table. The coffee mug she'd left in the sink that morning, still ringed with lipstick. I washed the mug, folded the throw blanket on the couch, straightened the shoes by the door. Anything to keep moving. My phone buzzed. Brett again. You tell her yet? I typed back, give me until tonight. Why? So you can come up with another excuse? So I can do it right. There's no right way to tell your wife you cheated on her the night before your wedding. Just do it. I threw the phone on the couch and walked outside. The air was cold and sharp, the kind that made your lungs hurt. I sat on the front steps and watched cars pass. Normal people doing normal things. Picking up groceries, driving to work, not falling apart because of a mistake they made 5 years ago. A neighbor waved from across the street. I waved back. She probably thought I was fine. Probably thought Claire and I had the kind of marriage people envied. She wasn't wrong. We did. Until a week ago when Brett decided to blow it all up. My phone rang. Claire. I grabbed it so fast I almost dropped it. Hey, don't hey me! Her voice was flat. I need you to answer one question and I need the truth. Not a version of it, the actual truth. Okay. Did you cheat on me? The question hung in the air. I could feel the weight of it, the way everything balanced on what I said next. When? Ever. Anytime. Before we got married, after, I don't care. Just tell me. I opened my mouth and nothing came out. That's what I thought. She took a shaky breath. I'm not stupid. I know what $10,000 buys. Silence about something big enough to end us. It's not what you think. Then what is it? Because I've been sitting here all day trying to figure out what could be worse than you lying to me for a week straight, and I keep coming back to the same answer. Claire, say it. Just say it so I can stop imagining. I can't do this over the phone. You can't do it at all. Her voice broke. You've had 100 chances to tell me, and you keep choosing him over me. Some guy who's blackmailing you. You'd rather protect whatever secret you have than trust me with it. That's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. She was crying now. I defended you to my sister. Told her you were going through something at work, that you'd talk to me when you were ready. She said I was being naive, that men don't get blackmailed over work problems. What else did she say? That I should leave before I find out the hard way. She paused. She's probably right. Don't say that. Why not? Give me one reason to believe you're going to be honest with me. Because I love you. That's not enough anymore. She hung up. I sat there holding the phone until the screen went dark. Then I went back inside and pulled up Brett's contact. Stared at his name for a long time. He wanted me to confess. Wanted to watch me lose everything. And Claire was already halfway gone. I could tell her tonight. Drive to her sister's and say it all before I lost the nerve. Or I could wait until tomorrow and let Brett do it his way. Make it as ugly as possible. Neither option ended with her staying. But at least one of them ended with me finally being honest. I opened a new message to Claire. Typed 3 words and deleted them. Tried again. Deleted again. Every version sounded wrong. Too casual. Too dramatic. Too much like an excuse. My phone buzzed. Brett. Running out of time, buddy. Better make a decision. I typed back. I'm telling her tonight. Good. Want me there to make sure you go through with it? Stay away from her. Relax. I'm just excited to see how this plays out. This isn't a game. Sure it is, and you already lost. Now you're just deciding how. I blocked his number. It wouldn't stop him, but it felt good for about 10 seconds. Then I got in the car and started driving. No plan, no script, just the address to Claire's sister's place and the knowledge that I couldn't wait another hour. Traffic was light. I made every green light. The universe wasn't even giving me time to change my mind. I parked 2 houses down and sat there with the engine running. Lights were on inside. I could see movement through the front window. Claire's sister in the kitchen. Claire on the couch, phone in her hand. She looked small, tired, like she'd been crying for hours. I turned off the car and made it halfway up the driveway before my legs stopped working. Just stood there like an idiot staring at the door. It opened. Claire's sister stood in the doorway, arms crossed. She doesn't want to see you. I need to talk to her. You've had all week to talk. Now you show up here? Please, just 5 minutes. No. She stepped outside and pulled the door shut behind her. You need to leave. I'm not going anywhere until I talk to my wife. Your wife is inside crying because you've been lying to her for God knows how long. And you think you get to just show up and make demands? I'm not making demands. I'm trying to fix this. By doing what? Lying some more? She moved closer, voice dropping. Claire told me everything. The blackmail. The way you've been acting. She thinks you cheated on her. I'm going to tell her the truth. Why now? Because your friend's about to do it for you? Because I should have told her 5 years ago. She stared at me. So it's true. I need to tell Claire first. She's not ready to hear it. She's leaving me either way. At least let me be the one who tells her. The door opened behind her. Claire stood there in sweatpants and one of my old shirts, eyes red and puffy. Let him in. Her sister turned. Claire, I need to hear it from him. She looked at me. Whatever it is, I need to know. I followed her inside. Her sister stayed on the porch, probably to give us space or maybe to make sure I didn't bolt. Claire sat on the couch and pulled her knees up to her chest. Talk. I sat in the chair across from her, close enough to see her face, far enough that she didn't feel crowded. The night before our wedding, at the bachelor party, I got drunk, really drunk, and I made a choice that I've regretted every single day since. She didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at me. I slept with someone, a stranger. I don't even remember her name. And then I woke up the next morning and married you like nothing happened. The silence stretched so long I thought maybe she hadn't heard me. Then she stood up and walked to the window back to me. Brett knows. He was there. He helped me get back to the hotel. He's the only person who knew. And now he wants $10,000. He wanted it. Then he changed his mind. Now he just wants me to tell you myself. I stood up but didn't move closer. So, I'm telling you. She turned around. Her face was blank, like she'd used up all her emotions already. Get out, Claire. Get out of this house right now. Let me explain. There's nothing to explain. You cheated on me the night before our wedding and lied about it for 5 years. That's it. That's the whole story. I'm sorry. I don't care. She walked past me to the door and opened it. Leave. I didn't move. I love you. You don't. Because if you did, you would have told me the truth before I wasted 5 years of my life. It wasn't wasted. Yes, it was. She pointed outside. Go. I walked to the door and stopped. I'll be at the house if you want to talk. I won't. She closed the door behind me. I heard the lock click. Her sister was still on the porch. She looked at me like I was something she'd scraped off her shoe. I hope it was worth it. I drove home in silence. No music, no radio, just the sound of tires on asphalt and my own breathing. Brett's last message was still on my phone. TikTok. I deleted it. Deleted his contact. Deleted every message he'd ever sent me. Then I sat in my driveway and waited for the consequences to finish catching up. I sat in the car until my phone died. Then I sat there longer because going inside meant facing an empty house and admitting what I'd just destroyed. When I finally walked through the door, it was after midnight. The lights were still on from this morning. Claire's coffee mug sat on the counter where I'd left it after washing it. The throw blanket I'd folded was still perfectly straight on the couch. Everything looked exactly the same as when I'd left, like the last 6 hours hadn't happened at all. I checked my phone after plugging it in. 17 messages from Brett. How'd it go? She leave yet? This is the best day of my life. You should see your face right now. Oh wait, I can't because you blocked me like a coward. Unblock me so I can hear all about it. Fine, I'll just assume it went exactly how I pictured. Does she hate you? I bet she hates you. 5 years of lies, that's gotta sting. You still owe me for keeping quiet this long. Just kidding. Watching you squirm was payment enough. Almost. Actually, you know what? You do owe me. For wasting my time with all this back and forth when you could have just been honest from the start. I'm coming over. We should celebrate. You finally grew a spine. Or maybe I'll just swing by to see if she's there. Get her side of the story. You home? Your car's in the driveway. Answer the door. The doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole and saw him standing on my porch, hands in his pockets like he was just dropping by to borrow a cup of sugar. I opened the door but didn't step aside. What do you want? To congratulate you. He grinned. You actually did it. I honestly thought you'd chicken out. I told her, it's done. Now leave me alone. Come on, don't be like that. We should talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. Sure there is. He leaned against the doorframe. Like how you're going to explain to everyone why your marriage fell apart after 5 years. Or how you're going to look her family in the eye at holidays. Or what you're going to tell people when they ask where Claire went. That's not your problem. No, but it's fun to watch. He glanced past me into the house. She's really not here? I figured she'd at least come back to pack a bag. Get off my porch. Relax. I'm just checking in on my buddy. Making sure you're holding up okay. He tilted his head. You're not holding up okay, are you? I'm fine. Liar. You look like hell. He pushed past me into the house before I could stop him. Got any beer? I feel like celebrating. Get out! In a minute. He walked to the kitchen and opened the fridge, grabbed a beer and twisted off the cap. You know what's crazy? I thought telling her would make you feel better. That whole weight off your shoulders thing. But you look worse now than you did this morning. Because I just blew up my marriage. You blew it up 5 years ago. Tonight you just finally admitted it. He took a long drink. How'd she take it? Did she cry, scream, throw things? She left. That's it? No drama? He looked genuinely disappointed. Man, I was hoping for something more cinematic. Sorry to disappoint you. It's fine. I'm sure there'll be plenty of drama later. He leaned against the counter. So what now? You just sit here and wait for her to come back? Or do you start apartment hunting? I don't know. You should probably figure it out because if she's anything like my ex, she's already telling everyone she knows what a piece of garbage you are. Your ex left you because you cheated on her 3 times. Yeah, but I didn't lie about it for 5 years. He grinned. That's the difference between you and me. I own my mistakes. You blackmailed me. I gave you a chance to come clean before someone else did. You're welcome, by the way. You threatened to ruin my life if I didn't pay you. And you called my bluff. Good for you. He raised the beer like a toast. Seriously, I'm proud of you. Most guys would have just paid up and kept lying. Most guys wouldn't have a friend who blackmailed them. Most guys wouldn't sleep with a stranger the night before their wedding. He set the beer down. We're both garbage. The difference is I'm honest about it. Get out of my house. Why? You got somewhere to be? Someone waiting for you? He looked around. Oh, right. You don't. Because you torched the one good thing you had going. I grabbed his arm and pulled him toward the door. He didn't resist. Just let me drag him like it was all part of the show. All right, I'm going. He stopped at the threshold. But do me a favor. When Claire comes back to get her stuff, tell her I said hi, and that I'm sorry things worked out this way. You're not sorry. You're right. I'm not. He stepped outside and turned back. But you are, and that's going to eat you alive for the rest of your life. I slammed the door and locked it. Heard his footsteps fade down the driveway and his car start up and pull away. Then I went to the kitchen and poured the rest of his beer down the sink. The house was too quiet. I turned on the TV just for noise but couldn't focus on anything. Flipped through channels until I ended up on some late-night talk show I'd never heard of. My phone buzzed. Claire's sister. She's staying here tonight. Don't call. Don't text. Don't show up. If you do, I'm calling the police. I typed back, can you just tell her I'm sorry? She knows. Can you tell her anyway? No response. I tried calling Claire directly, straight to voicemail. I left a message even though I knew she wouldn't listen to it. It's me. I know you don't want to talk right now, but I need you to know that I never stopped loving you. Not for 1 second. What I did was the worst mistake of my life, and I've hated myself for it every single day. I should have told you 5 years ago. I should have told you before the wedding. I should have been honest from the start, and I'm sorry I wasn't. I'm sorry I let Brett use it against me instead of just trusting you with the truth. I'm sorry for all of it, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it right if you'll let me. I hung up and stared at the phone, waiting for her to call back. She didn't. Around 2 in the morning, I gave up on sleep and went to the garage. Started pulling boxes off shelves, looking for something I couldn't name. Old photo albums, camping gear we'd bought and never used, a box of Christmas decorations Claire had insisted on getting last year. I found our wedding album buried under a stack of board games. Flipped through photos of us looking impossibly happy. Claire in her dress, laughing at something her sister said. Me trying to tie my bow tie while my brother made faces in the mirror behind me. The 2 of us at the altar, hands clasped, both of us grinning like idiots. The last photo was from the reception. Claire had cake frosting on her nose, and I was wiping it off with my thumb. We were both laughing. The photographer had caught us mid-moment, completely unaware anyone was watching. I'd been lying to her for less than 24 hours at that point. The guilt was still fresh, still manageable. I remember thinking I could bury it, that it would fade over time and eventually disappear altogether. I closed the album and put it back in the box. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway. It's me. Claire's voice was rough, like she'd been crying. I'm using my sister's phone. Are you okay? No. She took a shaky breath. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest. Okay. Was it just the one time? Before the wedding? Yes? You swear? I swear. It was one night. One mistake, and I've regretted it every single day since. Why didn't you tell me before we got married? Because I was scared and selfish, and I convinced myself that if I just buried it deep enough, it would stop mattering. Did it stop mattering? No, it got worse. Every year we were together, every time you told me you loved me, it felt like another lie I was piling on top of the first one. She was quiet for a long time. I could hear her sister talking in the background, too muffled to make out words. I don't know if I can forgive you. I know. I keep thinking about our wedding day, how happy I was, how sure I was that we were going to make it. Her voice cracked, and the whole time you were carrying this secret. You looked me in the eye and made promises you'd already broken. I meant every word I said that day. That doesn't make it better. It makes it worse. Because you knew what you'd done, and you married me anyway. I'm sorry. Stop saying that. Sorry doesn't fix this. She took another breath. My sister thinks I should file for divorce tomorrow. Get it over with before I waste any more time. What do you think? I don't know. I'm so angry I can barely think straight. But I also keep remembering the last 5 years and wondering if any of it was real. It was all real. The only lie was what happened before we got married. That's a pretty big lie. I know. And Brett knew the whole time. He was at our wedding, gave a speech at the reception, shook my hand and congratulated me while knowing you'd cheated on me the night before. She laughed, bitter and sharp. How many other people knew? No one. Just him. How do I believe that? How do I believe anything you say ever again? I don't know. Neither do I. She paused. I'm going to stay here for a while. I need space to figure out what I want. Okay. And I need you to stay away. Don't call, don't text, don't show up here or at my work or anywhere else. If I want to talk, I'll reach out. How long? I don't know. As long as it takes. Her voice softened slightly. I'm not saying we're over. I'm just saying I can't look at you right now. I understand. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like you don't understand anything. You spent 5 years lying to me and you only came clean because someone forced your hand. That's not honesty. That's damage control. You're right. Stop agreeing with me. It's not helpful. She sighed. I have to go. My sister's waiting. Claire. What? Thank you for calling. Don't thank me. I didn't do it for you. She hung up. I sat in the garage until the sun came up, still holding the phone, waiting for her to call back, knowing she wouldn't. Around 7, my brother called. I let it go to voicemail. He called again 10 minutes later, then again. On the 4th try, I answered. What? Jesus, you sound terrible. He paused. Mom called. She said Claire's sister posted something cryptic on social media last night about supporting family through hard times. What's going on? Claire left. Left like left? Yeah. Why? What happened? I told him. All of it. The bachelor party. Brett's blackmail. The confession. He didn't interrupt once, just let me talk until I ran out of words. You're an idiot. I know. No, I mean you're a colossal monumental idiot. He sighed. But you did the right thing telling her. Doesn't feel like it. Of course it doesn't. You just blew up your marriage. It's supposed to feel terrible. He paused. What are you going to do about Brett? Nothing. He got what he wanted. He blackmailed you. You could report him. For what? He never actually took any money. And technically, he's the one who pushed me to tell the truth. He's still a garbage human being. Yeah, but he's not wrong. I did this to myself. That doesn't make what he did okay. No, but it doesn't matter anymore. The secret's out. He's got nothing left to hold over me. Except your friendship. We were never really friends. I just didn't realize it until now. My brother was quiet for a moment. You need me to come over? No, I'm fine. You're not fine, but I'll give you space. He hesitated. Call me if you need anything. Or if you just want to talk. Or if you want me to go beat the hell out of Brett. Don't do that. Worth a shot. He hung up. I went inside and stood in the middle of the living room, looking at all the pieces of our life together. Photos on the walls, her books on the shelves, the blanket her mom made us for our 2nd anniversary draped over the back of the couch. My phone buzzed one more time. Brett again, from a different number. Heard she's staying at her sister's. That's rough, man. Let me know if you need anything. I blocked the number and threw my phone on the couch. Then I sat down and waited for whatever came next. She walked through the door on Thursday afternoon while I was staring at the coffee maker, trying to remember if I'd eaten anything that day. I heard her keys hit the bowl on the entry table. Same sound as always, like nothing had changed. I'm back, she said. I turned around. She looked exhausted. Hair pulled back, no makeup, wearing the same sweater she'd left in. Hi. She set her bag down and stood there, arms crossed. My sister thinks I'm insane for coming back. Are you staying? I don't know yet. She walked to the kitchen and poured herself water. Drank the whole glass without looking at me. I've been thinking about what you said, about carrying it for 5 years. Okay, I can't forgive you. Not for what you did, and not for lying about it. She set the glass down. But I can respect that you finally stopped running from it, even if it took Brett threatening you to get there. I should have told you years ago. Yeah, you should have. She looked at me directly for the first time. But you didn't, and now we're here. What does that mean? It means I'm not leaving today. It means I'm going to sleep in the guest room and figure out what I actually want, instead of just reacting. She paused. And it means you're going to give me space and not try to fix this with apologies. Okay. She walked past me toward the stairs, stopped halfway up. Brett texted me yesterday, said he was worried about you. Don't respond. I blocked him. She kept climbing. He doesn't get to be part of this anymore. I heard the guest room door close. Stood there listening to her move around upstairs. Unpacking, maybe. Or just pacing. My phone buzzed. Brett again. New number. We good? I deleted it without reading the rest. Turned my phone off completely. The house was still too quiet. But for the first time in 5 years, the silence felt like mine.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop your favorite part in the comments. See you in the next one.